Hello, I'm Marques Thompson, and this is Common Ground. Today we're going to wrestle with the subject of gay marriage, and to help me do this, I have with me Alex Lewis, who is the president of the ECU Republicans, and also Aaron Lucier, who is an advisor for the student union of the GLBT organization. So to begin with, I know a lot of times in these settings where we have two opposing views, the way to win is to talk the loudest and to say the most and outshout your opponent. But here we want to make sure that all views are heard and that we actually are searching for common ground. And so to do that, I want you to sum up each other's viewpoints and make sure that we at least understand where the other one is coming from before we proceed. So Alice, I'm going to start with you. If you could sum up what do you think is going on in the gay community, and what is the purpose as far as gay marriage goes? What are they trying to do?
Okay. Well, to sum it all up in a brief statement, I guess I would say Aaron, as well as the rest of the gay and lesbian community, they want equal rights and equal treatment, and not to be discriminated against in public, in the public's eye, and they just want equal rights. I guess, is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, Aaron, would you agree with that?
I think that's where, if you get down to the root level, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay. So now, if you would sum up, then what's your opponent's view? What problem do people have with you having rights?
Well, I think that it comes down to there's a belief that marriage is a special class, and therefore, it should be something that is protected and defined in the more traditional method of it, that it's only for a man and a woman, and that and depending on the degree of it, that gays and lesbians, don't deserve a special classification, and not necessarily deserving of a special class of rights, like, or might not be perceived as to be a distinct group of minorities like some other groups are.
Yeah, and that actually was going to be my first question for you. I know some in the African American community might say, you're a white male. Homosexuality is an activity. It's nothing that I could just look at you and know that was going on or whatever. So, what do you say to those who say, you're not a minority, especially those who traditionally are considered to be a minority, women and African Americans, Hispanics, etc.
Well, I think each one of those you just said, they're a particular group. They have their own culture. They have their own experiences, and that those experiences, while similar and they have tones of each other, are all unique. And I'd say, being gay or lesbian, we all have our unique stories. But I think the thing that stands out for me on the most of that is, while my being viewed that somebody doesn't necessarily automatically know that I'm gay, and therefore they say, well, how can you be discriminated if somebody doesn't know that you're automatically gay? Is the fact that is just because it's a different experience doesn't mean that it isn't separate. And I'll give you an example. Is if I experience it, if I'm fired for being gay from my job, which is perfectly legal in North Carolina right now, and I go back home to my parents and say, I got fired today because I'm gay, if you were an African American, your family would be like able to relate to that experience. They'll be like, I've been through that before, oh my gosh, I understand, or we're going to get an attorney, this is that. And as me,
Al Sharpton is on the speed
dial. As me as a gay man, my parents are going to be like, we don't understand that.
Right.
Or even in a worst case scenario, if they're not very supportive, they'll be like, of course you were fired because you're doing something wrong.
Right.
And so if you want to talk about an experience of being the separate, being isolated as which is often viewed that status of minority, I think that's a pretty good example of how that minority status feels.
Yeah.
Particularly when you can be a minority in your own family.
Yeah, wow. So what do you say about that? I mean, the fact that you can be fired for being gay, doesn't that kind of mean that, you need something special going on, or maybe not get a job for being gay? And, legally, serving in the military is a problem for this activity. So doesn't that afford them some kind of special consideration?
Well, first of all, discrimination on any level is wrong. It should be equal opportunities for everyone. That's the one of the principles, the founding principles of America, is equal opportunities for everyone. Whether it's someone who's homosexual, whether it's a woman, whether it's because of race or religion, discrimination is wrong, and even to the point I say reverse discrimination is wrong as well, and that's how I feel on that. But as far as the workplace, and as far as someone hiring and firing, yes, in North Carolina, you can hire and fire at will, pretty much, without legitimate reason, really.
Right. So you're saying that's not specific to the gay situation. That's anything in North Carolina.
Well, so to a point, but see, with if you started your business, if you started your own business, and you wanted all beautiful women to be working in your business,
which I do.
Okay. Ladies. But
my wife didn't laugh at that.
But if you want that in your business, I feel like that's your right to do that. I feel that's your right, and it's your business in your way, and you want to run your business the way you want to. Maybe it's for what you're promoting in your business. That might be the reasons. But back to my point is discrimination is wrong on any level.
Right. Okay, but wouldn't that? Okay, let's go with the beautiful women thing. We kind of. I mean, that's almost discrimination right there. If I say, I'm discriminating against ugly women, so.
Well, I mean, but just the judgment call of ugly and beautiful. I mean, that's so arbitrary.
Very much so.
But I think that it becomes that sort of slippery slope is then you have when that changes from an individual business to a corporation, or that changes from an individual business to a government situation. Where's the legitimacy of making that decision as an employer and making arbitrary decisions across the board based on whatever classification? When does that become really unethical and unfair and illegal, and I think that's really something that we all need to struggle with, because, you would hate to think that you're just, for whatever reason, and if we think about it from the African American community, if an employer says, I think most people in America would agree, if an employer says, we're just not going to hire any black people, that would be completely inappropriate and unethical and unfair. But we say that all the time to some other groups, and we say that and we say that to a lot of different groups that do it.
Yeah, you're right. So what we were basically talking about is, an employer, what rights do people have to decide who they're going to allow to do something or not? If there's a guy, I own a business, and there's a guy with a tattoo, all across his body, which some people would say that's appropriate. Do I, as a business owner, have the right to say, that's not appropriate here? And who's the one that can say, no, you can't say that's inappropriate? Is the government the one that needs to step in and say, no, you have to hire all tattoo workers? Do they get to be a minority? Where do we draw the line? And I guess that's what the issue is with gay rights, is because that actually is, on some level, a choice, a decision, or something that someone does. And so it causes people to view them differently.
Well,
how is that not appropriate?
And I think you got down to one of the core disagreements or arguments that you're going to find on gay marriage, on employment, all those things. Is being gay a choice? And that, you nailed it. Because the thing is anybody's going to come back to saying, making decisions to put tattoos all over your bodies is a choice, and therefore you're going to live with the consequences of that. I would make the argument, and it's a difficult one, and it's always a challenging one to sort of articulate and sort of make other folks understand. But I certainly believe that being gay is not a choice, because I live that life, and what I mean, I lived that life from the day I was born until today. That I know that it is not a choice for me. I tried, hard and continuously to live in the heterosexual lifestyle, and I have to say, even from the standpoint is from everything in my life is, society pushes you that way, television pushes you that way, your parents are certainly pushing you that way. I mean, all those forces, and I'm still gay. With all those pressures and forces, and I'm still gay. It makes me think that that it's not a choice,